AI is taking over developer jobs, but not in the way you think. Everyone's worried about being replaced, losing their jobs to a machine, watching their skills become worthless. But that's not what's actually happening. What's happening is a shift. The jobs aren't disappearing, they're evolving. And the developers who understand what they're evolving into are making more money than ever. 200K, 300K, 400K, companies fighting to hire them. And look, I'm not just someone giving my opinion on this as someone who isn't in the tech industry. I'm living through it because I was one of the developers who evolved into an AI engineer and makes 200K a year even when not having a CS degree, all while tech companies were laying off thousands of developers. It wasn't luck. It was because I understood where developer jobs are actually going in the new era of AI. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how AI is taking over and how to be on the winning side of it. Let's talk about what AI is actually doing to developer jobs. The fear versus the reality. Everyone thinks AI is replacing developers entirely. That's not actually what's happening. AI is replacing certain tasks and also the certain skills and also certain types of work. And if people just rely on just that itself, you could see that their position could be feel threatened. What AI does well, it's basically writing boilerplate code, debugging simple issues, translating requirements into basic implementation. This is the repetitive, predictable parts of development. What this means, the value of actually writing code, actually doing the writing itself, that is collapsing. AI does it a lot faster, a lot cheaper for it. So the value of actually doing it itself, the legwork of it has dropped. That is not where companies are hiring for because it can be done pretty easily now. But development is more than writing code, and that's where the opportunity is. So here's a list of the jobs that are losing value. So pure coders. If your job is basically just writing code, AI is basically covering it. It's going to take it over. That skill used to be up to 150K or beyond is now becoming like a commodity for it, mainly because before only coders knew how to do this. So you had to actually write it out. Now AI can actually write out the code. And even people do vibe codings that they don't even know how to code itself could get something working. So the actual writing of the code, the generation of the code itself, the act of it, is not as worth as much. So junior developers, the traditional path, companies are hiring fewer juniors because AI handles the tasks they used to do. So the entry point is shifting. If you're just coming in, just doing the legwork of just coding itself, right? Developers who can't explain their work. This again goes back to if you're just doing pure vibe coding, that is one example of it, right? If you just code and can't communicate, you're basically vulnerable because you can't explain the value you bring, the business impact for it. And AI itself, can code. It can't navigate business problems, though. It can't link it to what the business problem is trying to achieve, the solution to it. But once you know what it is and you kind of direct it, it can actually code it. And anything that has a pattern, anything AI can do, AI will do. So the value moves to what AI can't do. So now let's talk about the jobs that are gaining value. Again, AI is replacing or going to be taking certain jobs because it can do it. Whatever it can do, it will do, right? So that means the opportunity is where what AI cannot do. So for example, AI engineers, taking AI models and making them work in production, actually solving a business problem, having a solution and business solution for it. Not building AI because the models already exist. It's actually implementing them and putting it to good use to solve a business problem. This is the new high paying role. And again, this part, every company needs this. It doesn't even have to be a big tech company, a deep tech company. Everybody realizes that AI is very powerful, and a lot of these companies have what would seem like a simple business goal or inefficiency of, for example, just having where their information lives. Some lives in an email, some lives in PDF, some lives on physical paper and a POS system, or like on PDF, like I mentioned, PDFs or digital or physical hardware or physical paper itself, right? So having AI be able to consolidate that and have quick access to that, that is something very valuable to any company. It doesn't have to be a big tech company. And developers who understands AI basically understand what is actually happening using AI to multiply output, basically scale up their skill sets and knowing what it does and catching it when it's wrong. Because one of the things that is the problem with it, especially when you had like the first generations of AI, it starts hallucinating. And if you don't know what's going on, that could be very costly to the company. But if you could catch it, someone who could actually verify to make sure it's doing it correctly, That is someone valuable, a developer who understands what is actually happening, and be able to enhance by AI, not being threatened by it. Because the thing is, you have a certain skill set, and using AI to leverage that and scale that up and multiply that, that actually makes you better. And people who do system architects, AI handles the actual task, but humans handle the system. They put it. It goes back to like taking models and making them work in production. Humans able to take that and actually give value to it. That is that is actually going to be extremely valuable to companies. Those types of people, knowing how pieces fit together, making decisions AI can't make, because AI will give you the information to put things together that you ask, but it's up to like the system architects or the AI engineers to interpret that information and relay that to the actual stakeholders so they actually understand what is going on. And then there's domain specialists that so basically if you already work in a specific domain, especially if you're already in tech, you understand how that stuff works. Then if you add AI on top of that, that gives you massive value because you know what success is supposed to look like. You know what the pain points are. You know what the business problems with the business solutions, what it will look like. That someone who just knows AI, they would have to know that industry, which takes years of experience and knowledge and learning to even get to that point before they can even figure out how to shoehorn AI into it. The generalist developer is pretty much losing out in this case because the specialist is winning because they know the industry. They're already going to be the go-to person, they're going to be the ones who's going to own outcomes. Now combine AI with that so they can actually multiply their task and multiply their output. They basically that becomes their superpower. So this is what companies are paying for, the shift that the companies are paying for. So the old model, pay developers to write code, more value. Time and output were basically the metrics that figure out how valuable a developer would be. Now the new model is pay developers to solve problems using AI. So implementation architecture and understanding the metrics are basically the metrics itself. Implementation architecture and understanding. So they're going to be, they want the go-to person that knows how to actually execute and implement AI and know the architecture and understand so they can actually explain it to the stakeholders. And this is where the 200K plus salaries are. So AI implementation, so understanding like LangChain, RAG, agentic workflows, and making AI actually work in production. This is what companies are desperate for. I want to address basically what is happening right now and why most developers are responding in an incorrect way for this shift in AI right now. So response number one, denial. Basically, if thinking AI won't affect the job, it already is. I mean, the fact that you already listened to this video means it's already a topic worth listening to, right? The market is speaking. Salaries are compressing right now. Response number two, panic. My career is over. Well, no, it's not. The opportunity is bigger than ever, but you have to adapt to what is presented right now and understand what's happening and where the shift is. And response number three, competing with AI, trying to code faster or work longer hours, trying to outperform the machine. That's kind of like, you're trying to actually write out all long division by yourself and try to outperform a calculator. You won't win that race. And the response to this is basically use AI, leverage it, understand it, build skills around what makes AI very valuable, and that will make you very valuable. And stop competing with it. Just start leveraging it. Here is the list of the new skills that pay. So LLM implementation. So large language models implementation. So knowing Lang, RAG, vector databases, and agentic workflows. Taking AI and making it work in real systems. That is where the companies are looking for. That's where the value is. The next thing is AI augmented development. So using AI to actually write the code, but understanding what it actually produces. Debugging, optimizing, architecting with AI as a tool. The other thing is system thinking. How everything fits together, architecture is decisions. AI basically handles the pieces, but you handle the whole itself. And then this is a very big one, business translation. Connecting technical work to business value. Again, I wrote a book on this, which you could find on Amazon, how important and how valuable that skill alone is. And especially if you leverage AI, which can multiply your work itself, you're just multiplying your value and explaining what AI can do and can't do. That's what makes you valuable. Just so you won't go down a rabbit hole, because when you start learning AI and learning the new techniques that actually makes you valuable, you're going to learn a lot of new terminology and then you're wondering what that is. And then you start going down a rabbit hole, trying to learn everything about that. So to save you time, I'm going to tell you what to skip. So first, grinding lead code and just doing that by itself. Interview games are losing relevance right now. right? Where studying just to pass an interview used to be enough. That is, you still need to know how these things work, but just that alone and focusing on that is not the game right now. So I would say skip that. Companies starting to care more about what you could actually build. You want to basically showcase that before they even care about any leak code games or anything like that, right? More learning more languages. For example, AI speaks every language. Syntax isn't the skill anymore, right? So just because if you know Python or C++ or R or something like that, or Scala or any other type of language, that doesn't matter because AI knows all that stuff already, right? So it's understanding and implementation, that is what's more important. Credential collecting. So getting more degrees, more certificates matters less every year. Proof of what you can do beats proof of what you studied. Now, here is a very important part that you really should understand is how to position yourself. So step one, learn AI implementation. So again, going over this again, learn LangChain, RAG, agentic workflows. This is the modern stack. Focus on making AI work, not just using AI. Then step two, build understanding. So don't just prompt until it works. Know why it works. Being able to debug, optimize, and explain is what makes you valuable, makes you the go-to person, and makes you become the owner of a problem that they know that they have to go to you for that problem. They don't necessarily understand how you do it, but you have to be able to do it so you could explain to the stakeholders and business owners and the executives and whatnot so they can make an informed decision. That's how you become super valuable. Like become basically the right hand man at that point, right? And step three, develop a domain edge. So pick an industry, become the AI person for that space. So if you're already an expert in your space itself, adding AI to it makes you a lot more powerful because even if someone else comes in and they know AI themselves, if they don't know that domain, you're going to get picked over them. Specialists win over generalists. And step four, very important, build proof. So actually do real projects that solve real problems, especially in your specific domain. And if you know the domain, you know what the problems are, you know what the pain points are, you know what the executives, the stakeholders are looking for. That is your advantage. Show what you can do with AI, not just that you know AI exists. Here's the timeline to actually execute on this, right? You have to do it right now because this is the time where the opportunity is. AI is taking over a certain developer task right now. So the shift is already happening. Early movers are benefiting. You're getting 200K plus roles available right now, while you might hear a lot of layoffs going on or see people are struggling or competing for the same positions. But companies are looking for people who already know how to do this stuff and they are paying 200K plus if you're able to actually execute on that. So basically, this is what it looks like for the next 2 to 3 years. The gap is going to widen. The traditional developers are going to feel more pain if they don't start adapting. AI skilled developers pull further ahead from the traditional developers here, right? So basically, your window is open right now. The best time position is today. More people will figure this out over time, over the next 2, 3 years, and the advantage will shrink over time. You want to be an early adopter, get there first, and be the one to grow with it and want to be that go to person. So you might be wondering, AI won't replace real developers, right? It's not replacing, it's shifting what's valuable to it, right? And the thing is about that is like people might come to me and say like, well, I don't have time to learn new skills. Well, you don't have time to be irrelevant either, right? Or other things people might be, or other people, other developers have came and asked me or told me is that I'm too senior to change. You're already, we're already set in their ways. Old dogs can't learn new tricks. Well, your experience is an asset. All you're really doing is just applying AI to it. And right now they're like, okay, well, it's just a fad or this is just hype. The salaries and hiring patterns are real. Just look at the data. If you don't believe me, go on LinkedIn right now. As of like this year, you'll see companies are creating new positions. Every company is creating new positions, not just big data company or big tech companies. The way things are right now, you pretty much have a choice, right? So option one, you fight AI, compete with it, resist the change, and hope it goes away. Think it's just a fad. Watch your value decline. You could just, again, go on LinkedIn and just see how many people are talking about it, where they lost their position to companies who decided to start implementing AI into their business practices. Or option two, you could actually leverage AI and use it yourself. Learn how it works, build skills around it, leverage it, make more money than you ever did before. Because while a lot of people are resisting it, that leaves an opportunity for people who know how to leverage it to take up those positions and lead the company forward and bring value to it. So the reality right now is AI is taking over developer jobs. That's not changing. That's happening right now. The only question is whether you're on the side that benefits. Here are your next steps. AI is reshaping development. The jobs are evolving. Developers who adapt are making 200K plus annually. If you want the exact steps to make that move towards AI career, the skills, the positioning, the path to 200K plus an AI role at a company, a significant one, then check out the links in the description.